Have you ever been to a team building meeting at your job or a job you previously had? They hire in some consultant to figure out what your company's vision and mission is, and you churn out some neat little abbreviation or even an acronym like LACY. Leading, active, zealous, youthful. Wonderful goals, so agreed upon that they blind you for the fact that the acronym itself maybe doesn't sound as good as the words it is made up of. Well, that's not what I want to discuss today. It's the fact that every time a new consultant is hired in to find a company's new vision and mission, they will tell you about the number of personalities the world is made up of. They mostly come from different schools of thought, so they seldomly seem to agree a lot when it comes to the actual number. But they were always praised and looked up to. You can't spell consultant without sultan. Back in 2000, I worked in the telecom business. It was a great time to be alive inside that bubble. Every time a new little digital invention was released, software or hardware, there had to be a party. Lots of cool people, lots of girls, the occasional celebrity. Everything was free, open bar. One time I remember I came home with more money than I had when I went out. Couldn't remember how that happened though. Maybe someone bribed me to show their product to my company or something. I don't know. But as certain as there always was a party right around the corner, there were also consultants. And I'm sure that the growing cost of them had a lot to do with the soon-to-be bursting bubble. Anyway, the company I worked for had gotten bigger and bigger due to merging with other companies, and more consultants were needed to figure out our vision and mission, since clearly that was not the job of whatever CEO we had at any present time. You know, the captain of the ship, knowing where to go and why we should go there. Well, there's one personality for you. And to be honest, I can hardly remember any of the personality types the consultants taught us about. But it ranged from 3 to almost 7. Sometimes they had the same number, but the focus was different. Of course, none of these consultants were present at the same meetings. So, unfortunately, we would never see them fight over who had the actual true number of personality types in the world. After the bubble bursted and I went on to different jobs, I hardly saw any of these team-building consultants types again. But I got to figure out my own personality categorizing, and I didn't plan to or anything. It just came out of a brainstorming session while trying to come up with story ideas for a screenplay. I did think about maybe turning my work history into something that could work as a story. But I couldn't find any good angles to go for, so I went on to other story ideas and never actually used it for anything. But you might find it interesting. I call it the circle of personalities. All the times I had to hear about these different personalities the consultants preached about, they were always very neatly stacked inside diagrams, with no chance of any escape or overlapping. I believe I on several occasions did question the fact that it's virtually impossible to have no overlap the more people you put into settled categories. I believe I was ignored. Had I thought of my idea already back then and presented it, I would have most likely been ignored too, even if I had a very cool number, prime number even. And the number is 5, and I've been all 5 of them. Maybe you too. Winner, loser, quitter, coward, cheater. Do you see the circle? Back in the telecom days, I considered myself a winner because I got a lot of promotions, winning on all fronts. Then I lost when the company went belly up and I had no education to bring me into similar positions in other fields of work. So I slowly moved towards mundane jobs, which started to bore my brain, and I tried becoming an artist again. I quit that many times. With lower income and work that many looked down upon, it was harder to get dates too. I was slowly dragged backwards from being a winner to the dangerous threshold between being a coward and becoming a cheater, either through crime or faking a personality to be liked to get an easy lift back to becoming a winner again. I was under some bad influence in that period, so that could have easily gotten out of hand. I got lucky, and I knew I had to try it the hard way. That was at least a setup for a win. In the circle of personalities, there's overlaps all around it. Let's say you enter an annual running competition for the first time, and you might overestimate your abilities thinking the competition isn't that hard and you lose. Of course you lose. You run again next year and you also lose, but you set a personal record. You win. Next year you even run a little faster, but you get irritated that you were a coward and didn't dare push yourself more when you really felt you could. Suddenly, one year, you're competing to beat a neighbor at the competition, and he's been improving faster than you and beat you by 10 seconds every year. It's tempting to quit, even tempting to cheat. Who would know if you took something that enhanced your speed? Who would even care when you're just a mid-range runner anyway? It's not only in sports and work life. The circle reflects everywhere. Because we are competitors at all stages of life, even if we like it or not. And there lies the key, to like or not to like. What are the emotions at play in dynamic conscious beings like humans at any given time? And how does it affect their choices? Winners can become too comfortable and lazy and lose their place on the throne. It could come as such a shock that they will even have to walk through the stages of grief over their loss. And if they desperately want to avoid the heart-thumping emotions during these stages, they might try to jumpstart their careers back to life with a cheat code. But it will not work, because cheating has another taste than winning. It will taste more like losing and a little bit of quitting with a bitter aftertaste of cowardice. It's all emotions. Sometimes standalone emotions, sometimes dual, sometimes more mixed, and other times shifting like mad when you're about to do something very stupid, like cheating. So, it's not that black and white. One should also add into the equation that being a winner could become a sour experience if it turns you into an arrogant soul or a bored soul who forgets to widen his horizon, which a loser constantly will have to, the natural diamond in the rough. Sometimes quitting can be positive, not spinning away your savings on the casino, for example. When it comes to cowardice, for it to be positive, more luck has to be involved, I think. You chickened out doing that bicycle jump your friends dared you to, and you didn't get to grow into adulthood missing a leg or a similar useful limb. However, for cheating to be positive, there must be a lot of luck and special circumstances involved for it to come out as positive in any way. But anything is possible. Have an exceptional day, and I tell you this, in a perfect world, without all the paradoxes involved having a personality, I'd take a winner over a loser. I'd take a loser over a quitter. I'd take a quitter over a coward. I'd take a coward over a cheater. But I'd never take a cheater over a winner. You are the weakest link. Chain broken. And you cheater ruined my perfect personality circle. Thanks a lot.